2022, a year full of such promise and excitement. No more lockdown, crowds are back, and the very best players getting better and better. It was sure to be a brilliant year, and it was. Join me now as we go through an epic 2022 darts review. It all started 1 year ago in the World Championship final as Peter Wright would win a classic to become a double world champion. Heartbreak for Michael Smith, but he'd be back with more chances to finally win a big one. And so to Q School, where dreams are made and players have the chance to join the professional tour. It was success for these elite few here, including Rowby John Rodriguez, Vladimir Anderson and the mullet Danny Jansen. UK Q School would give us tour cards for Cameron Menzies, Richie Burnett and a young Northern Irishman called Josh Rock. We'll be seeing more of him later. On to the first TV major of the year in January and the promise of a new major winner as Dave Chisnell faced Joe Cullen. It will be Cullen who got the win and from that a place in the Premier League. UK Open up next and some unlikely semi-finalists as Keane Barry and Willie O'Connor made deep runs. It wasn't meant to be though, as Michael Smith had his next chance at a major title versus Danny Noppert in the final. A surprisingly low quality game which Danny Noppert nicked to win his first major title.
Danny Noppert has the UK Open title and Michael Smith for the seventh time loses out in a...
Spring brought about the Premier League and it wasn't without controversy. Fans didn't like the format where each night was a mini tournament guaranteeing a winner, and to be honest some of the players didn't like it either. Gerwyn Price was vocal about feeling burnt out, which may be why he didn't make the top four. Cullen snuck in on debut thanks to a bit of good fortune, but comfortably saw off Johnny Clayton to set up a final versus Michael van Gerwen. And in that final, we went to a deciding leg. Cullen missed double 16 to be the champion, and Michael tied it up to win the Premier League.
Wants double 14, and Michael van Gerwen gets double 14.
Into the summer, and Australia would win the World Cup for the first time, dedicating their victory to the late Kyle Anderson. And then the match play between two darting giants as Gerwyn Price took on Michael van Gerwen. Price would start well for 4-0 up and keep his lead all the way until Michael van Gerwen levelled it at 12-all. MVG would edge clear and take out 1-2-1 on the ball to be crowned the match play champion.
Bullseye now for Michael van Gerwen, and Michael van Gerwen wins the World Match Play.
For the first time in 2022, we had a women's match play on television, with the winner qualifying for the Grand Slam and later the World Championship. Eileen de Graaf would knock out favourite Lisa Ashton to set up a final versus Fallon Sherrock. Fallon would come through that to be the inaugural Women's World Match Play champion.
Leaves double 5. And the Queen of the Palace is the most...
End of the summer saw the conclusion of the World Series as Dirk van Dijvenbode faced Gerwyn Price in the final. Price got over his match play defeat, winning at the deciding leg for the title.
For Gerwyn Price, who wins the World Series again in an absolute thriller.
Grand Prix up next and the resurgence of Nathan Aspinall. Written off earlier in the year, many people saying he's injured and finished, Aspinall would come back brilliantly to make the final, but it wasn't going to plan as he found himself 4-0 down versus Michael van Gerwen. But Aspinall is a warrior, and he made it back to 4-3 before missing darts for 4-all, and then Michael van Gerwen wrapped it up to win his third TV major of the year. European Championships up next and some brilliant performances on the Euro Tour this year. None more so than Luke Humphries, who won 4 titles in 2022. But it was Michael Smith that made the final again versus surprise finalist Ross Smith. Surely now Michael would get over the line to win a major. But it wasn't to be, as Ross Smith was absolutely brilliant and he deservedly won his first major TV tournament from out of absolute nowhere. Michael Smith would have to wait a little bit longer, but not too long. And that's because the Grand Slam was up next. And remember that young man from Northern Ireland called Josh Rock? Well, he did this.
Gerwyn not being on the 9, but Rock is on the 9.
Oh, this is...
Now this would rock Van Gerwen, and it's on. It's on now for double 12. Sensational scenes!
MVG would go on to win this match, but what a way to announce yourself on the world. Barney's comeback continued with two amazing wins versus Gerwyn Price to make the semi-final. But it would be Michael Smith and Nathan Aspinall in the final, and with a tiring Aspinall, it would be Michael Smith who finally won his first TV major, and boy did he deserve it.
The emotion from Michael Smith after 9 finals, 8 of them losing. Michael Smith is now a...
Just look what it means. The women's series heated up as the WDF champion Bo Greaves entered the fray and won 8 titles in a row, including this winner-takes-all final versus Fallon Sherrock to qualify for the PDC World Championships. This 148 is very nearly the checkout of the year.
Absolutely sensational from Bo Greaves, and I'm not sure whether you can hear, but there was a bit of a roar from those onlookers watching on the big screen. Of course,
Josh Rock would inevitably become the World Youth Champion versus Nathan Gerwyn.
And there it is. Josh Rock is crowned the World Youth Champion with a record average of 104. Not a lot that Nathan...
As the year end was fast approaching, the Pro Tour ended with so many stories. Back-to-back wins for Joe Cullen, 3 times in a row for Michael Smith, first-time wins for Jim Williams, Danny Jansen and Josh Rock, and a resurgence in Adrian Lewis. But on to the Players' Championship finals, and Rob Croft would make his first final of the year, dispatching Clayton to set up a match versus dominant Michael Van Gerwen. The standard was ridiculous as they shared the opening 12 legs before MVG went on a rampage, winning 5 in a row to win his 4th TV title in 2022.
Van Gerwen is the champion once again.
And now for the World Championship. The first time ever, we had 3 women qualify as Lisa Ashton, Fallon Sherrock and Bo Greaves all made it to Ali Pali. All would fall to tough round 1 defeats, but all performed well, and a sign that the women's game is going in the right direction. Checkout of the year went to Mensur Suljovic for this 1-6-1 when Michael Van Gerwen had refused the ball in a classic round 3 match.
Oh, come on now! Bullseye! That is insane! That is insane!
MVG would get through that game with a 107 average, by the way. Gabriel Clemens was one of the stories of the World Championships with his deep run to the quarter-final where he faced world number 1 Gerwyn Price. And despite Price taking set 1, Clemens was brilliant and went 3-1 up. So what answers did Price have? Well, to come out and play in ear defenders and give it stacks to the crowd.
Crowd is tense, they're all giving it serve, playing well.
Never seen that before, and maybe never to be seen again. Clemens won 5-1 to make the semi. His run though would come to an end as he lost to back-to-back finalist Michael Smith, who set up a mouth-watering final versus heavy favourite Michael Van Gerwen. Van Gerwen started well and broke to take set 1 before these two gave us the greatest leg of all time.
Championship final, Michael Van Gerwen is on a main daughter. I've seen the like. Come on, volley boy. Yes, double 12. That is the most amazing leg of darts you will ever see in your life. I can't speak.
Unbelievable. Smith would find himself 3-2 down, but would win sets 6, 7, 8 and 9 to lead 6-3 in a first to 7. And despite a push from MVG to 6-4 and 2-0 up, Smith would claw it back to 2-2 so he could throw for the match. He would start that leg with 180, followed by 180, before taking it out in 11 darts to be crowned the world champion. From 0 majors to 2 in 2 months to being world champion and world number 1, a remarkable end to the season, and it sets up 2023 beautifully. Truly remarkable year, I think you'll agree. What was your favourite moment? Let me know in the comments. Thanks to everyone for watching. Please subscribe if you've made it this far, and we'll see you on the next one.